Many times, like one time Mandela said, you want people to understand you, speak in a language they understand. But if you want people to feel you, speak their mother tongue. Many times, much as I'm a leader, I want to speak to you as a common Ugandan so that you get what I'm saying from the common Ugandan perspective. We gather here today, ladies and gentlemen. Yet another time, as Ugandans living in the diaspora, living in America and many other parts of the country. But I'm challenged every time I'm talking to you. I'm looking at the cream of Uganda, cream de la cream. Just here in this room, ladies and gentlemen, we are with people that never used to be in the diaspora. Remember, the diaspora for the last 36 years has been taking out the best of Uganda. So we are meeting not just the common Ugandans, but cream de la cream. And I'll point up only one sector, the entertainment industry. In this room, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of Uganda's most amazing voices ever. We have Angela Kalule in this room, ladies and gentlemen. We have one of Uganda's most prolific writers, playwrights, and actors. We have in this room, Wycliffe Buyombia. In this room, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of Uganda's most amazing radio personalities, Muvawala. He is in this room. In this room, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of Hollywood-level actresses, one Ruth Wanyana, in this room. In this room, we have the beast from the east, General Megadi, son of Busoga. In this very room, we have a short but certainly not short-sighted comrade, one of Uganda's most amazing talents on stage performing and on radio, Comrade Kaparaga Mike Kakando. We have in this room my sister, my friend, my OG, Uganda's jewel, Jennifer Kabanda, in this room. In this room, we have my sister, very talented fellow artist. You know her as Farida Kutesa. I call her DJ Fashion. In this room, we have Latifa Musubika. You know her. Those who have TVs in your rooms, in your houses, you know her. She's in this room. We have in this room Kandi Nabasumba Mutesi. We have in this room my brother, my sister from Gomba, Flavia Namolindwa. In this room, we have a dancehall champion, Mr. Ronnie Banton. In this room, ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing talent, a young talent from Uganda, the one Caritas Nabosa, also known as Caritas Cario. In this room, we have champion Marvin. In this room, we have Karim Sava. In this room, we have Naira Ali, we have Selecta Williams, and many other talents. Now, we are not supposed to clap about that because these are people stolen away from home by circumstances. They don't want to be here. No. But because our country does not offer what their talents deserve. We have them. Now, like I said, I only pointed to the music industry. Various sectors are also depleted. We keep losing the best from our country. And like I said, this is no moment to celebrate. I was talking to Comrade Kauma this morning, and he asked me a very challenging question. What is the objective of this, our gathering? It's a question I want to share with all of you. What is the objective of our gathering? For the last 20 years, I've been coming to America. First time I came to America, I came for the UNA conference. And to tell you the truth, since that time and the following 5 times, the 5 years I came to the first 5 times I came to America, I was coming for the UNA conference, but I did not even know what it was about. Like many other Ugandans, we were coming together to celebrate, meet different guys and different chicks from different states, have fun, date, go to a boat cruise, get drunk, get high, party, go back until next year. That is what it had been reduced to. I'm therefore very happy that we are meeting not as usual. This is no convention as usual. But I'm sure for each one of us, there's something that is being restarted, re-energized, and reignited. That something is what I hope each one of us is able to discover from within themselves. However, before I proceed, ladies and gentlemen, I know we are gathering today here with a lot of baggage behind us. For example, I stand before you, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of the people of Uganda, the 45 million people of Uganda. While I like to address you as fellow artists, while I'd like to address you as old friends, as fellow Ugandans, I'm first of all addressing you as the President of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you for clapping, but I prefer you mourn when I tell you that. Why? Because you have a president who does not even have a right to speak in his country, who does not have the capacity and ability to call people together and speak to them. And yet I have the mandate of the people of Uganda. I just said that to remind you of the challenges that we are facing. We are meeting today, ladies and gentlemen, with tears only drying. Just as we speak now, I'm representing thousands of Ugandans that are rotting in prisons. Many of them are being killed, while others, as we speak, are being kidnapped. You read about them every day, women being raped, tortured, men being castrated. I stand to represent them here. And the pain is not only back home, but even here in the diaspora. As we speak, we continue to mourn the uncertain death of our brother, Muwonge, who is also the husband of our California chapter leader. We have lost, our brother Mike Kasolo, we've lost Omugave Ndugwa, and many others. So for those that we've lost, allow me to request all of you to stand for a minute, for a second, and observe a moment of silence for these our comrades. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. But while we think about those that we've lost, we cannot stop celebrating and thanking God for the gift of life. I mean, just a few moments ago, I was seated next to Comrade Wamedi. Many of us thought he was going. That we still have him today is reason to believe that God is on our side. And
I also want to reiterate that there has been quite a number of achievements, and Comrade Kauma spoke of some of them. I will say that we are not where we want or aimed to be, but we are not there where we used to be, certainly. We have taken some steps. I appreciate that they've mentioned a few achievements, that we have a new head office as NUP, that we've been able to establish offices across the country, that we have a mobilization force. But one thing that we brag about is the massive awakening of the people. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak here, be very sure that there is no longer a conversation of Arsenal and Man U, whether it's in the ghetto, whether it's in the Chirombe, on the border state,
Wherever in the saloons, the conversation is the future of Uganda. That is what has made Museveni very, very scared. Abantu tebakyawakana, tebakyasiba sente nti ani atebye omupiira ki. Basiba sente ani ayogedde ku nsonga ki. Basiba sente ani akolagana ne dictator. So abantu baffe kuva mu birombe paka mu ghetto paka mu saloni paka ku stage ya boda boogera ku mbeera gye balimu, ekyo tulina okyebaliza Katonda. Just a few years ago, the young people of Uganda were completely disconnected, governed, and that is how Museveni dictatorship succeeded in, consolidating itself. But I'm very glad that our people are focused about their country. Back in the days, you would not see a Rastaman come here talking about the future of his country. We're not really disconnected. I cannot express the joy I felt when we saw a Rastaman here, our brother Charles. Just a few, years ago, in fact months, he was a shy guy, just minding his business. But to see that everybody is deeply concerned about the country and they are practically involved, there is no resource that we can celebrate like that. Our politics is not only left to politicians, no. Our politics left to the parliament, it is on the street. Our politics is not in boardrooms, it's in the ghetto, it is everywhere. It is in the music, etc., etc. So that we celebrate, ladies and gentlemen. But as we keep going, the fundamental question that man called Kauma raised should challenge all of us to find answers. Tujje muki mu conference eno tusinkanye just kugenda ku boat cruise kulya mmere? No. Let each one of us be reminded that we are such a force, and if we choose to use that force, man, we will save our country. Back in the days when Uganda was being ruled by tyrant Idi Amin, Ugandans came together in the diaspora. When Obote was in charge, Museveni had to go in the diaspora. He did not have the legitimate support of the population. Now all of you know, we can't reinvent the wheel. You are capable of doing that. I want to thank many of you. Banji sijja bogerako, because while we have those that are out, that are openly working against the regime, be sure that there are many Ugandans that are patriotic and are working behind the scenes to make sure the Museveni dictatorship falls. We thank you. Please continue playing your part. So much has been said. I was very well represented by the words of our Deputy President, the Right Honorable Mathias Mpuuga. And even if I didn't reiterate, the message was delivered. However, I want to reassert a few things, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, the unity. Unity. It was not me that brought you comrades together. As a matter of fact, I saw the videos after I left prison. I did not call any of you. In fact, there was no established leadership in our diaspora. But when I was in prison, you guys came out, you demonstrated, you put pressure, and I owe my life to you. I wouldn't be living. So if you could do that when you were not led, when I was in prison, then I'm sure you can do even much more after I leave prison. However, our biggest challenge has been we ourselves. I notice the disunity, ladies and gentlemen, in the diaspora, and it disturbs me. And be sure it disturbs our people. I want to challenge all of us to realize that we are each other's resource, and each other is all that we have. And the more we are divided, we are doing it for Museveni. These divisions, in most times, are caused by petty power struggles, or even petty benefits. But the biggest benefit is freeing our country. So, allow me to remind you that every time we show any sign of fighting against each other, that's what Museveni wants. In fact, Museveni can use us with or without our knowledge. These people that rule over us, they are united even in their evil. When it's time to rob Uganda's money, they stick together. When it's time to abuse the constitution or the law, they stick together. However, we are the slaves, but we see each other as opponents, as more fierce opponents to each other than even the dictator. Question is, who is your enemy? For example, when we choose to come together, it would be very disturbing to see that there are elements, even within us, that are working against that unity. I was speaking to some of our comrades. For example, when I came with Dr. Kizza Besigye to discuss the future of our country, because that is what you people want to see. Anti-Museveni forces working together. We don't have to be friends. But if we believe in the same, we must be seen to work for that same. Let our actions reflect our words. You cannot say we must stand together and you're seen to be working against each other. We are not each other's enemies. We are not each other's opponents. And I say that to the forces of change from different parties, the FDC, the ANT, the NUP. But most importantly, I say this to you, comrades that subscribe to NUP and the People Power. And this message should go to all that are listening to me right now. The people that follow us are watching us by our actions. You are not going to convince them about the need to stick together. You're not going to convince them that what we are saying is the same, that our objective is indeed the same when they see us as antagonistic to each other. When they see, we are not going to convince them that we're offering them leadership when they see us as forces in disarray. You're not going to convince them that we are in communication to each other when they see us organizing counter engagements, when we are one and the same. So that should speak to us. I like to tell Ugandans, era namwe nja bagamba nti abantu batulabira ku bikolwa byaffe. Friends, I was supposed to meet you last year. I didn't make it, and I'm glad I made it today. To the Diaspora leadership, we believe in you. We trust you, and we hold you in high regard. But please remember that you are servants of the people. I was supposed to announce new Diaspora leadership at the beginning of this year. But because the divisions that were earlier on in-house spilled out and they became public. So I saw it important to meet each of the teams personally. And that is what I've been doing for the last half a year. So that we get the challenges firsthand and be sure that I am meeting all of you. And that by the next time we announce a leadership that I will have appointed myself, it should be a leadership that reflects what we believe in. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we appoint leadership, and I want to be the one to say this. We appoint the leadership not because we want to choose for diaspora leaders, their leaders from Kampala. I was speaking to the coordinators earlier today, and I asked them that in a diaspora, for example, in the case of America, out of 100 people, if they were to cast a ballot, if they were to choose, if it's 100 people from America that are choosing, how many do you think would choose Museveni? Well, you could say 0, you could say 1, you could say 2, but they are certainly less than 2, right? How come then that the leadership, the official leadership of the organization that leads Ugandan here in America, the UNA, how come it's led by a Museveni agent? How come the leadership of Ugandans in the UK, in South Africa, in Dubai, and in all these other countries, how come they are led by Museveni agents? It is the same question I'm sure you will ask me, that how come you have NUP councillors, but again when they go to vote a speaker, they pick an NRM candidate? You will ask me, how come that we also even have some MPs that will vote Anita Among, a Museveni agent? Museveni, like all dictators, has mastered the art of compromising people to the extent that he will deplete the national coffers. He does not care how much money he spends to compromise leaders. It is for that reason, therefore, that it was resolved that the leadership of the diaspora will be appointed, so that you, the appointed leader, if Museveni compromises you, we fire you there and then. We are fighting with Museveni, who is crude. He will use 10 billion if he has to have a diaspora leader somewhere in the world announce that he's supporting the regime. Because you diaspora people are so important. And that's why we don't want to give it to them. But I'm glad to see that I, who is appointed, have the mandate of the people of Uganda. I was elected by the people of Uganda. So please understand it when we tell you that we want the revolution to be at least in close control of the diaspora. Not to tell them what to do, but to tell them who not to deal with, and that is Museveni. And we do this with openness. We do this in the most radical way, because if you're fighting a radical dictator, you have to be a radical freedom fighter. I hope I make that point clear, but at every engagement that I have with you, I will ensure to make that point clear. I will speak about the suggested way forward, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I want to ask you to try as much as possible not to fall to the trick of dividing yourselves. That is what Museveni wants. He wants us to be divided. Don't fall for division. Anybody that you see sowing seeds of division, be it along gender, be it along tribe, along religion, please despise them. You people living in America, you should see that America is an example of Uganda. You have the Japanese, you have the whoever, you have all kinds of people, but when they come together, they make a nation called America. Uganda by now does not belong to any tribe. Of course, be sure Museveni, being the tribalist that he is one trying to give us an impression that is about the tribe that he comes from. But also, he wants to, conscript that tribe. I marry from the West. I know the challenges that they face. They tell me every day, man, si buli omuntu ali bulungi, naffe abali enkole olusuku si lwa seminti. You understand? So don't fall into that trap. An effort has been so vigorous to make us look like a tribal grouping. Museveni has tried so much to make me feel like it's a curse to be a Muganda, and I refuse to fall for that. I proudly stand by my ethnicity, but so should everybody. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for being a Munyankole, for being a Musoga, for being a Muteso, for being a Muganda, for being a Mutoro, or wherever you come from. You are beautiful, you are perfect, you are deserving. We define people by the content of their character, not their tribe. And if anybody is pushing the Museveni narrative, if anybody is speaking words or is acting in a way that is weakening us, dividing us, therefore helping Museveni, that is an enemy of a struggle. No matter what color they wear. And if anybody is speaking and acting in a way that is pushing our struggle and undermining the Museveni dictatorship, that person is our friend, no matter their tribe, no matter their religion, and no matter the party from which they come. I thought I should make that very clear, ladies and gentlemen. I want to ask us to try as much as possible to organize, come together, get to know each other. And friends, try as much as possible to establish friendships. Because all that we do it, but the spirit in which we do it matters most. Buli kyokola kikole naye nga muno omulago kikola mu mwoyo gw'Obwaseruganda, mu mwoyo gw'eggwanga. Number 2, let us continue lobbying. And I want to thank our lobbyists. It is because of the work of you comrades in the diaspora. Nyinza obutaba mentioning amanya that some of Museveni's most murderous people are sanctioned. Okay? Abel Kandiho is sanctioned. Kaiura is sanctioned. Of course, we are pushing to see that Museveni and his murderous son Muhoozi are sanctioned too. We took them to the ICC, and I don't stop telling you about this, that one day, ekibaluwa kibakuntumye kijja kuyita nga Museveni wonna bamukwatirako bamukuba jeke. You are going to see that in your lifetime, but it's going to take your effort, ladies and gentlemen. So for those that are lobbying, continue knocking on doors, continue pushing those documents. Mwogere oluzungu eyo mu offices ezo. And for the rest, please, whenever there is a protest, put your feet on the ground. Buli omu akole ky'asobola okukola. For the artists, my fellow artists that continue to speak out, you artists have a voice, oh my God, you have no idea. For the people of Uganda, for the people of Busoga, to see General Megadi standing with them, to see General Megadi standing for the truth, it is a big, big boost. You have no idea how much the young artists are inspired when they see a one Angela Kaule standing for the truth. Fellow artists, Marcus Garvey said, one civilization is not complete without its art, the highest form of expression of human intelligence. So we artists, like Fela one time told us, music is not only for entertainment. Music is for revolution. Our country is so poor and so backward for us to use music for just enjoying. No. Katonda ine ensonga lwaki yatuwa zino talanta. Tuzikozese. In the days of slavery, in the days of apartheid, in the days of colonialism, music played a huge part. Let us continue to use it. As I said, many of you talented people are here. That is a blow to our industry. And the industry is under attack. Museveni does not want to see any other reasonable person coming from the music industry. Already, that industry produced Kyagulanyi, and that is enough for it to be sentenced to death. That is why, Paris Amateka, for you to produce a song or a video or play or movie, the minister has to sanction it. Now, these ministers of Museveni are nothing, for lack of a better word, fools. Oh, yes, I said. So, these are the people that are, setting the pace for the industry. When will we ever have a Nollywood or a Bollywood? So, tulina omulimu mikwano gyange ogw'amaanyi. For me, it gives me so much pleasure to see that we are here, not just to dance and enjoy. Yes, we will enjoy, and I encourage you to continue enjoying. Many naysayers back home see us today and say, kati abagamba bali more struggle, naye bali mu America. Please enjoy. Marry your wives. Have children. Because even during slavery, black people would produce. That's why we are still here today. The slaves would jump the broom to make sure they continue. During apartheid, people would marry. Mandela had children during apartheid. Under the rule of Idi Amin, that is when Museveni had Muhoozi. That is when he married. And the fools are saying we shouldn't marry. You want to kill us and finish us? Please marry and produce children. In fact, do it times 2. Because this struggle is not ending. Even when we remove Museveni tomorrow, our work shall only have begun. The man has misruled our country and taken us back for 36 years. So we have a task. 1, to remove a dictator. And 2, to pull our country from the mess that he has put it. We have gone so many years back. The other day, I was complaining that Museveni has stolen our youthful years. It's just yesterday that I realized, after turning 40, actually Museveni has stolen all my life. Not just my youth, but my life. The guy came to power when I was only 4 years. Now I'm 40. And after he loses power, you realize that he stole 36 years from us. So for us to get back from when Museveni came, from when we still have the cooperatives, for us to get back to that kicking off point, I will be 76. The guy has stolen all my life. Question is he not going to steal the life of your children and your children's children? As we speak today, not yesterday, today, they are using so much money to bribe everybody that there is to bribe. I was talking to my good friend Sarah Bakanansa there, and I was telling her that the money that Museveni used to bribe MPs the other day was up to 20 billion shillings. Now, Chirudu Hospital costs 20 billion. Atezo nazo nyingi nnyo. So Museveni yakute Chirudu namba najiwaba MP ngenguzi. He gave out a hospital to MPs in form of bribes. Now that is not the problem alone. Where is the big problem? The big problem is that he gave out Chirudu Hospital so that he can steal 10 Chirudu hospitals, because 207 billion was stolen using Tayebwa, the deputy spokesperson, the deputy speaker of parliament. And that is just under a month ago. So imagine what kind of mess has been done for the last 36 years. Like I said, I'd rather not dwell on our challenges. I'd rather, shine a light ahead. We have a problem. We have a problem. It's an emergency. Removing Museveni has become an emergency. Buli watu fuga, buli mwaka gwamalanga tufuga tudde emabega emyaka 5. Ate kati balinga batubba ttaamu egenda. So we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Buli mbeera eno nga muli mukayana, buli mbeera eno nga muli mukuvumagana. Yes, it is good to challenge each other, but remember that after doing that, muleme kubanga mutambudde mudda mabega. Make sure mukayana nga muteka 1 foot ahead of the other. 1 foot ahead of the other. Yeah, it's the only way that we are going to save this our country. Tuleme kubanga tubyogera bwogezi naye tubikole. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk about the importance of the diaspora. You play a very big role. But your role can also be counterproductive if we don't think very critically. Like I said, I first realized the importance, the power of the diaspora when you came out to save my life. You did not put any money. You just showed up. It was the energy. That is what we need most. Of course, you guys support us in the most amazing way. We had a presidential campaign. We did not lack anything. We did not lack anything. I did not know the money we were spending, where it was coming from, but it just kept flowing. Twagala posta kumi. We want a new car. We want this. All that was flowing in. We salute you. We thank you. You've supported us. You've supported our comrades in prison. You've supported those in hospitals, etc., etc. However, while we are thankful of the funds that you fundraise, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that it is not just a money thing. As a matter of fact, when money keeps coming in and it's not controlled or it's not looked at, it becomes a problem. It is for that reason that I suspended the fundraisings. I suspended the fundraising. It is not just money that is needed. And when money becomes a problem, we pause it and first rediscover our minds. So we paused the fundraisings because we need your hearts more than your wallets. And after we are reorganized, after we have reassessed, then we shall restart that, ladies and gentlemen. Because, like I said, we need your hearts more than your wallets. Finally, allow me to talk about a resource that we have, that is social media. You know that back home, it is a challenge for us to send our message out there. But God has been so good to us. We live in a generation that does not have any excuse to fail. We have no excuse whatsoever. Those revolutionaries that came before us, the Paulo Kawanga, Semogereres, the Kizza Besiges, they did not have social media. But they were able to push the message out there. We came with an amazing resource. We were artists. We can preach to you while you dance, and you'll get the message. We also have social media. Let's use it. Museveni realized the power of music. That's why he used taxpayers' money to buy off artists. Others, he put them to prison, like the Nubian Lees and the Dan Magics. But also, he is trying to take over the music industry through his brother Salim Saleh. What does that mean? That means that resource is very important. And I continue to encourage fellow artists to kozese arti waffe, to kozese music oyo, abantu baffe tugende maaso nga tubabuusa. Having talked about the musical resource, I'll talk about the social media resource. Social media is very important. Very important. But like money and the funds that we have access to, it can be counterproductive. In the recent past, I've seen that resource being well used in some lines and in other lines misused. Banange social media tugikozese ekitwala struggle maaso. These people want to paint us as indisciplined. They want to paint us as valueless. They want to paint us as mannerless. And every time you make a mistake, you're feeding into their narrative. Nakyogerako ne mbasaba bannange nti bwe mba mugenzi okwekalakasa, one, mwewala okuwemula. Nze munnange bwe ntunulira Museveni, ebigambo bye mbeerawo nga musirise naye nga byonna bye mulowoozaako bya buwemu byokka. Kubanga byafaanana. Naye tosobola kukozesa lulimi olwo baganda bange kubanga tulina abantu be tukulembera. So please be the leader that reflects us. Otherwise, you will be doing us a disservice. Bwe mbanga muyomba nga taatawo oba maamawo ali mu kuyomba n'omuntu ng'akoze effujjo ewammwe n'ovaayo ate gwe n'otandika kuwemula muwemuzi ne bwe mubeera batuufu oba omusango oli oba omuwanguza. So ne bw'oba kyoyogera kituufu kyogere mu ngeri ekwesa ekitiibwa. People power. Lwakuba muzeemu naye mbadde ngezaako gamba nti people power si ya group y'abantu emu. People power is a national call. Oba oli Muganda, oba oli Mukyoli, oba oli Mukatuliki, oba oli Musiraamu. So, tumanyi, in our communities, we have our own fights. For example, abakatuli kituyinza okubeera n'obutakkaanya bwaffe. Ne bwe mba ngenda okukaayanira ensonga z'ekereziya, nja kuggyako bereti ngiteeke wali ngende wali nga Robert kayanira ensonga zaffe ndyoke nkomewo. Kubanga omusiraamu ye talina problem bwe mba omusiraamu mu drug nze mu nsonga zaffe. Bwe mulina ensonga zammwe ng'abasoga nga zibakyankalanya, osooka n'ojjako bereti n'ojja ng'omusoga. Byonna byoyenda n'okola kibaba wabitaawo. In the same thing, in the same breath, bw'obeera ng'oli Muganda ng'olina ensonga ezikukyankalanya embuga, jjako bereti giteeke wali weesibe gomesi, yambala ekanzu jangu ogusa ensonga zo. Kitegeeza ki ekyo? Kitegeeza we are living this cause for the nation. We must not in any way make the people power cause regional, because it's not. We belong to the whole of Uganda. Whatever we say must be in representation for the whole country. We are not in any way trying to shut people down. No. We believe in challenging authority. We believe in speaking truth to power. We believe in servant leadership. And a leader who is not a servant is not worth of their title in any way. So we believe in holding those leaders accountable. Temulekerawo holding abakulembeze accountable, no. But hold them accountable in a way enetwese ekitiibwa, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope I make that point. Finally, who is your enemy? Who is your friend? Your enemy is Museveni. Whether you know or you don't know. Your enemy is Museveni. He's the reason why you are in the diaspora. He's the reason why you don't come home. He's the reason why your children are losing their future. He's the reason why we are being recolonized by China. Museveni is a puppet of the West. And I say that authoritatively. I am in the United States, but we also hold the United States administration accountable. Okay? Here in California, I stand here to call out the United States administration. If you really believe in the values of democracy, in the values of human rights, in the values of the rule of law, then don't you feel ashamed standing shoulder to shoulder with a dictator that murders people with impunity? This is the world's biggest democracy. But it is in bed with an autocracy. And that is not only the United States. While dictators like Museveni want to label us agents of the West, actually it is Museveni who is a puppet. So we are being recolonized by these people. Good enough. For them, you can call on their conscience. So when you demonstrate, ladies and gentlemen, you are not only exposing Museveni, you're exposing his partners in crime. So do not stop. Bwe karakasa, Museveni ayagala obalowesa nti bimwe kalakasa tebi making a sense. But I'm telling you, they are effective. The West was as friendly to Gaddafi as they are with Museveni. But be sure, they don't have any friend in those dictators. They have business partners. And until we make business sour, until we make business bitter in Uganda, these people will not stop supporting dictators. Okay? Idi Amin was supported by the West until it was so embarrassing for them to continue being seen supporting Idi Amin. These people are supporting Museveni, and until we expose them naked, they will not stop supporting Museveni. So please keep knocking on those doors, keep demonstrating, keep calling them out, and keep reminding them that they are sponsoring genocide in Uganda and in Africa. They are sponsoring state-inspired violence. I will just thank you for running the course and not giving up. I know that you comrades would have, completed this meeting, this conference without me. But I'm here to show you that I'm still standing, that I'm not scared, that we are still pushing on, that we are going to remove Museveni, we are going to do that. And I want to encourage all of you, all the people of Uganda, while we, the People Power Movement and National Unity Platform, are non-violent, because we believe in non-violence, I say this many times, that I'm worried that a time is going to come when those violent ones are on their move, and I won't have moral authority to stop them. It's been said in the past that those who make peaceful change impossible, they make violent revolution inevitable. Temutunenyanga nga abaana balala bagambye tetugenda kutekinga that nonsense. In any case, when the Musevenis were our age, they did not take that nonsense. So I wonder why they expect us to take the same nonsense that they refuse to take. As we live here, friends, may you live energized. May you live more patriotic. May you live more united, more understanding, and more friends to each other. Remember, each other is all that you have. The more you come together, is the more each one's use is maximized. The more we fight against each other, is the more we send the dictator to holiday. We did not gather here just to look at each other and smile and dance the night away and go back to our work. We gathered here to remind each other that we are in Babylon. We are on a foreign land. We have the land of our ancestors where we belong. Apart from the few of you that have, decided to be buried here, but I know the majority of you are going to be buried home. You better prepare your burial place. I know many of you have children. For us, we have no option. I think it's too late for me to relocate to anywhere. So I will fight in Uganda. And if I have to die, I will die in Uganda. But I certainly will die after Museveni, not before him. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. Thank you, comrade leaders from the diaspora. We thank God for God and our country. People power! Our power! People power! Our power! Kunga diaspora, kunga! Kunga diaspora, kunga!
Kunga!
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I was told that there's some duty I'm supposed to perform.